We saw people vouch, swore with their grandmother's grave that everything is going to work. They ended up deceiving Nigerians. They made sure that everything they told Nigerians, they did the opposite. So you saw from voter education was faulty. Let it be responsible people, let it be men of integrity, let the people that will tell Nigerians about voting and what they're going to do, the honorable people, that what they say, they will stand by it. And not people that will give us things they believe this is what we want to hear. Let us look, let men that will do this, let it be men who will say the things they mean. INEC educated us. INEC told us they are going to do an electronic transmission. They told us that it will be free and fair. So going to that, voter education was completely faulty. Number two, registration. When we all saw what happened during registration for PVCs. People were busy spending days at the venues. People will go several times. They could not register because they started very late and the materials were not available. So starting from the basics, the registration was faulty, completely faulty. Even after registering, collecting the voter card was a problem. People were stampeded, people were wounded, people were injured, people spent their money traveling far and wide to be able to vote, to be able to register. So those were the faulty things. Then coming to voting itself, how effective was the distribution of the electoral materials? So things were being distributed and so many places they could not see the electoral materials. The materials, either the results sheet is not there, or the voter card is not, or there was an error in printing of the ballot papers. So with all this, we know there were a lot of errors. There were things that didn't go well. Then you talk about the transmission of results. We are all very much aware of the popular hitch. We are told that it's going to be transmitted real time from the polling unit, from the polling booth. And we were so happy. And that was why a lot of Nigerians were eager to vote, thinking that their vote will count. Then what happened? At the middle of everything, there was a glitch. And that glitch till today has become popular. Everybody knows about it. But it's like Nigerians are quickly forgetting that glitch. And they are quickly beginning to accept that, oh, the ruling party, they won the election. That is why they are the one. That's why some people. But we knew the process that led to where they are, what we are going through today. It was that glitch. Because the result, Nigerians' votes did not count. Thank you. Then where are the other things? Our voting itself. How do people vote? You get papers. People feel after you are accredited at a different stage, people fill the form, it will be counted at the end, and it became mutilated several times. Even the voting process itself is completely wrong. So what I believe is that if Nigerians are serious, if Nigeria is serious about voting and giving us a credible election, the entire process should be overhauled. The entire process should be reviewed. So Nigerians that are calling for electoral reform, I do thumbs up. We are calling for electoral reform. I am one of them. So many other people are calling. I give thumbs up to Peter, Peter for Nigeria. He is like a one-man squad. So many other Nigerians. I expect to see millions of Nigerians start shouting for electoral reform. I want to see that because completely everything is faulty. There are more things in the conduct of the election itself, faulty. So I will leave it there. Let me not spend so much time on just that. Just believe me that virtually everything was faulty.
All right. Now, thank you very much. Now, from the defects you have, highlighted. Now, some months ago, you championed what you called a revolutionary electoral reform. Now, what I want you to enlighten us on that, specific elements of this revolutionary electoral reform. But before you do that, would you consider the introduction of the beavers as revolutionary because it was unarguably unprecedented in Nigeria. So would you consider that revolutionary? And maybe the problem then later on was the human factor, the fact that this revolution did not translate into what people had expected, which was, the cutting off or the vitiating of all the malpractices that could have taken place. So, would you consider that revolutionary in Nigeria? And then, what are the defects? I mean, what are the specific elements of your own, theory or your own principles?
All right, thank you. Looking at Beavers, Beavers was an improvement upon what used to be. It was not perfect in its own. It still leaves room for improvement. So Beavers was quite good for the time, but in this year, 2025, 2026, 2027, the functions that we are seeing in that Beavers are not enough. However, without confirmation, I heard from a reliable source, though I had no other way of confirming, that there were virtually all the functions that will eliminate every form of electoral reform in Beavers, built in through Beavers, IREV, and so on, that there was going to be, it was supposed to eliminate completely. However, the operators or the people that should manage it, the human factor came in, and they did not allow the activation of some of the functions. That is allegedly. I did not confirm that. So it's possible that even the electoral reform and the things I'll be prescribing that should be done is already available. And it depends on the people, whether they have the willingness, if they are willing to, to allow that to be. So that comes to the major problem we have. That is the human factor. When we talk about the electoral reform, I think we should be starting from INEC itself, because the human beings that are there, how they came to be there, how they became the officers in charge is very important. So we need to really know who is in charge of INEC, who is going to run the affairs of Nigerian election, what is his record, what is his pedigree. Is he a man of his word? Is it a man we can say this man is a man of integrity? Is an incorruptible person? Is it somebody that will be elected from an independent INEC? Is it someone that is completely detached from the powers that be in Asoro? Is it someone that his conscience cannot be bought over? So that is one of the things we will start from INEC to reform. How will the INEC boss be chosen? Appointment from the executive is not supposed to be accepted. So that aspect has to be reformed. That INEC should be independent both in financing. INEC should be independent in electing their officers. And there should be no link at all between INEC officials and the federal government. So they should be independent. So that is one. Then when we talk about that reform, you asked about what are the elements of the reform that I'm canvassing for in my revolutionary electoral reform. One, there must be, Nigeria has come of age to do electronic voting. Electronic voting, but let me say, before getting to voting, electronic online digital registration of every single eligible person. Nigerians, 150 million Nigerians can register to vote within a space of 1 month. It is possible. I can register and complete the process in my room, as long as the database, which the existing Electoral Act of 2022 provided for, they have a database. It should be electronic. If it is not, they can merge it with that of immigration and that of what do you call it? Nigerian Population Commission. The people that issue our, that issue our national ID card. So we have our National Identity Management Body. We have immigration. Why am I talking about immigration? Every Nigerian that is outside has a national passport. And a passport. On that passport, there is a database. So if they can link these things together, we can have a database that confirms everybody's identity as you register from your room. For those who cannot use who are not learned enough to register by themselves, they can go to any business center. Are you there with me?
All right, I
Hello?
can hear you. Speak on. No.
Okay, you can hear me. Okay. So people can register to vote right from the comfort of their homes. People can register any business center. All you need, am I audible? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Speak on.
Okay. So people can register. That's for registration. And when this registration is done, you see that more people will register. Nigeria will be covered better. Let's stop this idea of thinking, yeah, some people are not literate. Let's consider the not. Let's consider every single person can walk into a business center and have his data profile, everything captured, and the person registers, and it is linked to the National Identity Register or database. And we will have a comprehensive voter register. When you finish registering, you can just easily print your own voter card. We don't need to wait for INEC to go and do the registration, print the cards, and then begin to distribute. Look at the logistics that all that takes. Hello, you're with me?
I'm with you. Speak on.
All right, thank you. Look at the logistics that are involved in all that. Look at the cost. Look at the man hour wasted, both by the citizens and the staff. Even the money, the wealth that is wasted in all this. But these are things that can, with that, job is created for Nigerians. Small business owners who run business centers, it is job for them. And Nigerians will comfortably register to vote. There is no way once these things are done, Nigerians most people will register. That is one for registration. Then when it comes to verification and voting, what are the things we expect? We expect electronic voting. What do we mean by electronic voting? You thumb on the machine. Now, first of all, there will be a voter machine. There will be an electronic voter machine, which Beaver should have that function, where once you tap your number, because everybody, when you register, there'll be a unique number, and you have your own unique password through which you can log into the portal, into INEC portal, registration portal. The same thing that same unique number and your personal password, you can use to open the machine when you come to vote. Once you pin that number, once that number is keyed in, it will bring out your details. The fact that it's being then accepted, then you are eligible to vote. That rules away all the logistics and all the problems that you have when it comes to accreditation of voters. The same machine, the same staff, the same person at the same polling unit, the same man will accredit with the machine accredit, the same machine will take your voting, because once you are accepted, then it opens and brings out the page where you can now vote for your preferred candidate on the same machine. Immediately you finish doing that and you click submit. It submits and then prints out the ballot paper that will be submitted for further counting and verification, and print out a receipt that contains the same thing you did for you to be able to track and trail your votes. Not after they say no. Let me continue. By the time everybody, 1,000 people in that polling booth has finished voting, what happens? You punch the machine, it automatically appears. When that data appears, what happens? You're seeing everybody, all the agents, party agents, electoral observers will snap it. That is the record. That polling unit with each number on that machine, the total number and the data, and the traffic, who ABCD, party ABCD, and their scores appears automatically. All these things for one single voter will not take more than a minute, or at most 2 minutes. This is what can happen. And you can see that it will take less than 4 hours for 2,000 people to vote in a polling unit. Why? My question is, Nigerians, I don't think they are sincere. I don't think our leaders are sincere because they know what I'm saying. What I'm talking about, they know. They have ICT departments in INEC. They have very senior experts. I'm a medical doctor. I'm a surgeon. I am not a tech expert, even though I have little idea about tech. But all these things are easy to work. The cost of printing papers alone, you knew how much it cost Nigeria last time? The cost of the logistics of carrying all the plans and everything and all the ballot papers and preserving, if you put all of them together, within the next 3, 4, 5 months, we will have electronic voter machine that is comprehensive with all these functions I've mentioned. That is for voting. Then what happens about transmission? Real-time transmission, because as you are punching, immediately you submit, it goes to the Abuja database that is displayed where people can see the data coming from different polling units. Real-time. Whatever we are printing out there, just to be like a secondary confirmation. And the individual voter has his own receipt showing what he voted, time he voted, date he voted, everything showing there, and the persons he voted for. It will show. But we can still rule out that one. But that's important to trail whatever I voted when there are issues. Who can be called upon to say, bring evidence of your voting and what you voted for. People from that polling unit can be called on phone. So their data, everything is there. They will come down and show that they have voted, these have voted, and it will be recounted again with their receipts. So that is for transmission. It will be real time, and people can display, it can be displayed. So when this happens, this is what I'm talking about, real-time electronic transmission of votes. This data can be, now when they snap, all the agents, when they snap, they have their own party heads, party offices where they collect their own results. They are forwarding it real time. Immediately, it is concluded there and the data appears on the machine. They snap. They forward to their own center, different parties. So virtually all parties will have the results of the election even before the conclusion of the election. So why is it difficult for Nigeria? Okay, recently, India managed 980 million voters. 980 million. And they concluded their election and released results the same day, within 24 hours. 980 million. How many people voted in that election? 646 million. That is India. The difference between Nigeria and India is not so much, except that we are not sincere. If we are honest from A to Z, starting from the top, if they are honest, they know what we are talking about is real. So I am begging Nigerians, I want to see 1 million, 2 million Nigerians shouting shouting electoral reform. If only Peter and few others will go to Abuja and be submitting papers. Nigerians rise up if they are sincere with their future, if they are sure that they really want a better life. Sometimes when I look at how laid back we are in Nigeria, I feel that we are not yet serious. We are not ready for a reform. We are not ready for better life. Because the truth, the people who know, don't understand. When you look at bad governance, my brother, let me tell you the truth. When people say bad governance, they see it as a term. When I hear bad governance, what I see are millions of people dying. As a doctor who has worked in many hospitals in Nigeria, from Tinubu to Calabar to Lagos to Ife, I worked in these teaching hospitals. The best and the common killer of Nigerians is poverty. Any other person that places anything ahead of it is lying to you. I have seen people brought to hospital who had all the chances to live, but they died simply because nothing is available. Nothing is available, and people die every day. Why are we talking about insecurity? People look at insecurity as a word. When I see insecurity, I see it as people being kidnapped, people being killed, people being raped. I see human blood pouring. That is insecurity. But I think politicians, when they mention insecurity, they view it with the eye of it's a word, it's an English word. No, by the time Nigerians begin to see bad governance, it's a terrible thing. And as lives being destroyed and wasted, just as we see it every day in Nigeria, then they will see why they should bear all consequences. And millions of people will troop and then force the National Assembly for a reform. That's what we are talking about, electoral reform. That is the type of electoral reform I am pushing for. Number three thing that may have to be very serious, that we need to take very serious, is the punishment for electoral offenders. Sometimes I say it should be death sentence, and some people say, no, he's being too extreme. If we don't make it extreme, people will continue to commit it. Either life imprisonment or death sentence. That's what it should be. If you bribe people, if you try to corrupt INEC staff, if you try to, you know, to threaten people or injure people in order to subdue them and suppress them so they cannot vote, then you have committed an electoral offense and you need to face, depending on the crime you committed, the maximum one should be death sentence. For those people who come to give people money to buy their vote, or who try to corrupt, or who want to interfere with the transmission, with the machines, with the election itself, to interfere with it, we should be talking about ballot boxes again in this century, in 2025. With that single machine, we'll do away with ballot boxes. We'll do away with ballot paper. We'll do away with carrying of boxes and all this. And we will do away with delaying and waiting, manipulation of results. And that same, the security network that will be there, which will be provided, will be there focusing on the machine and the staff that is manning it. And the number of people employed by INEC will reduce. So we can't even enumerate. There are too many benefits. And why is it that Nigeria can produce this machine? Machine can be produced within the next few months. So nobody should tell us. The amount of money they are putting in some other things are not as serious as electoral reform. In fact, let me tell you, whatever contract Nigeria is awarding today, including the East-West Road, that is the main thing eating the most money Nigeria is producing now. And people are waiting for its commission as if it is such it's a big thing quite well. But let me tell you the truth. Electoral reform is much more important because if we our electoral process, then I tell you the truth, Nigerians will be able to choose their leader. And once you are able to choose your leader will become your servant. Because if he doesn't do the right thing, you push him out the next cycle or even impeach him while on the seat. So it is what determines everything. It is the most important thing today in Nigeria that everybody should be going for. Electoral reform, electoral reform, electoral reform.
All right,
Maybe
thank
I'll
you.
stop here. Maybe.
Of course, what you have to, can you hear me? Dr. Bear? Oh, network. Okay.
Yeah, no, yeah,
All
I can
right.
hear you now, but I didn't hear you
Uh,
before.
okay, I think you have really spoken comprehensively on electoral reform. What you have said, the things you have highlighted are noble ideas, I must say. You said electoral reform is much more important than any other thing. But I also know that you believe in something else that is much more practicable and expedient, and that is the issue of coalition or alliance or merger, whatever. So, what are your views on coalition? What are your views on coalition in relation to electoral reform?
All right. Thank you so much. When it comes to coalition, it is, to me, is a wonderful idea. And the one that is happening now didn't just happen by accident. It's a calculated effort. A lot of people have been working behind the scene to get a party that can form a unifying factor where many other parties will come in. I'm very much aware because I know that since early last year, early after the 2023 election self, not even some group of people who are mainly obedient and mainly those young people, noble young people that fought hard to see Nigeria change in 2023. When things went the way it went, they came together, thinking of the options they will do so that what happened, options, they will go, what they will do to make sure that what happened in 2023 does not happen again. And these people, until finally they settle down with ADC and, start making ADC popular. It is that popularity that a body like Coalition for the Protection of Democracy, it was what they did that made ADC popular. And that is why it attracted people, the big names you're seeing today. So let us get that right. When people say he's being championed by, the people that championed it are unsung heroes. And they are Coalition for the Protection of Democracy, called them. And they are the people that first signed an alliance, or signed an MOU, formed an alliance with ADC and started publicizing it. I'm sure you are very much aware. And that is why ADC became, the bride. So let me leave that. I believe strongly in coalition, because the kind of persons we have today in power, you need a very strong opposition, and there is no single person that will find it easy to be able to unseat them. I'm sure you understand very well that they were able to do what they did outside Aso Rock. So imagine what they can do right from Aso Rock when they have the entire control of Nigerian resources. So I believe that for them to be removed from that place is going to be a very difficult thing, and we need strong coalition. However, I have to say this. When people are going into coalition, terms must be very clear. And this coalition must not make the mistake that was made by some big parties like PDP in 2023. They must not make the mistake that was made in 2023. What is the mistake? We all know that there's an unwritten constitution, unwritten law understanding between North-South, 8 years South, 8 years North, 8 years South, 8 years North. If they make mistake in this alliance and pick somebody from the North, they have just given Tinubu the ticket to Aso Rock for the second time. That's one thing I will say. If they make that mistake and form an alliance and make somebody from the North their presidential candidate, then they have failed. Even me, myself, with all my effort and all I'm willing to do, I will just sleep and I'll just stay and watch. And I know many Nigerians will do that. And Tinubu will ride to victory. But if they really want, if they're really serious, they should throw away selfish agenda, selfish ideologies, and be interested, which we believe in. They want to save Nigerians. Nigerians are crying too much. The blood is pouring so much. People are hungry. Nigerians are dying. Nigeria is going backwards in a time that many countries are rising and seizing this opportunity to become civilized. And Nigeria is going backwards. Small countries are overtaking Nigeria in all data you can think of. So what is happening is that these people, I believe, they have genuine interest of Nigerian masses at heart, and that's why they are coming together. And I am saying that when they come together, they must be conscious of the fact that the next 4 years is still a southern opportunity, is opportunity for the South also. And they must get their candidate from the South. That is one. Number two, and that person they are getting must be someone who has a character of integrity. Someone who has not stolen before, who is not a thief. Someone who has verifiable evidence that he is compassionate and he has knowledge of economy, who is production driven, whose heartbeat is how to uplift the poor and the suffering, the downtrodden. That is where I will stop on this aspect. I believe in coalition, but the terms must be very clear. The terms must be fair. There should be justice. There should be understanding. And the driving force must be that we want to deliver Nigerians. We want to free Nigerians from suffering and dying, which is why it's going on so much. On a daily basis, people are dying. Thank you.
Now the present coalition is rumored to involve Mr. Peter Obi, the presidential candidate of the Labour Party, then the former governor of Kaduna State, Rufai, and the former vice presidential candidate of PDP, Atiku Abubakar. Now, do you believe in the present coalition? That is among these three personalities. That is one question. Then, secondly, now I want you to draw significant parallels between the present coalition and that happened in 2015. Because in 2015 there was a coalition, the CPC, ANPP, and then one other party came together and formed the APC and unseated the PDP. But that coalition, even though it was successful, did not translate into good governance. And that party is still in power today. So the whole issue and the sermon on coalition is coming from the political class. Electoral reform is coming from the side of, what is it called, civil society organizations, and even the obedient, substantial number of the obedient movements members are calling for electoral reform. They are rejecting coalition because they feel that this coalition is about state capture because it involves, the so-called conventional politicians. Rufai, there was a time that people, when he was still in APC, some members of the Obedient movement were saying that this is a corrupt politician. He is corrupt. So how would you, reconcile these two? Like, how would you convince the Obedient movement and Nigerians that the present coalition is not about state capture, but to first of all to do the first thing first, bring these corrupt politicians from power, bring them out of power, and then have the reins of power by ourselves in order to now bring the good governance we have been seeking for.
Thank you so much, my brother. That is supposed to be a sort of concern to every well-meaning Nigeria, every sincere person. Yeah, it should be a sort of concern. But thank God you said it's a rumor. It's a rumor, not because it's entirely a rumor. It's a discussion that is ongoing. And that is why I said, if you remember, I advised at the beginning that Nigerians should trust and respect the decision of that great man, P2B. Why he has not made any statement openly about his being part of that coalition, it is out of genuine wisdom, out of wisdom and genuine love for Nigerian masses. I am very much aware. The truth is that P2B that I know is somebody that has what it takes to be supported by the West at all costs to become the president of Nigeria. When I mean the West, I mean the Western world. Talk about the US and the UK. His personality and his relationship with the UK royal family would give him what he needs in Nigeria if he is ready to trade some things. The P2B I know will not go into any coalition that will not allow him to deliver good governance to Nigerians. So when he's taking his time to take decision about the coalition, Nigerians should trust that is because of them. It's because of his love for them and because he does not want to go there and disappoint Nigerians. So the I's must be dotted and the T's crossed before he steps into that coalition. Even though I want him to join that coalition immediately, as soon as possible, but I believe and I trust in his judgment. That is one. Now, the coalition you asked about is a rumor, but is a fact. Those other ones have joined, and the honest fact is that a lot of people are working hard to develop structures for this same coalition in all parts of Nigeria, north and south. It's going on. So a lot is happening. But the truth is that you asked about the personality. Nigeria should be more interested today on who is going to be the presidential candidate, because the man who is president, that means a lot. If we have a single good president in Nigeria today, like PO, I tell you, it will not take 2 years for Nigeria to have so many things, including the stable electricity. I know what I'm saying. So there are many Nigerians that can donate. If we can donate our little millions today to support this change and make sure that we have good governance in Nigeria, more people will donate their billions when they see a president they can trust, to make sure stable electricity comes immediately, to make sure security issue is solved within a year, to make sure that Nigeria joins the League of Nations in being advanced and in being a sane society. So Nigeria should be more interested in who flies the flag of the party after the coalition. Once you are not the president, your powers are limited. So let's not be deceived. I will encourage people, as long as there is understanding that he is going to fly the flag, let him join the coalition because he needs them. However, if they don't agree, PO should stay alone. We will go to another party with him. And I am sure that 70% of Nigerians are with him, if not more, are with him. And wherever he goes, Nigerians will go with him. For now, he has not stated openly, but I know that consultations are still going. He has not answered us, he has not answered anybody directly that he is with the coalition. For the media, you are saying that he said he's running from Labour Party. I've responded to that earlier. He has not, they quoted him out of context. As of today, he's in Labour Party. If election happens today, he will run from Labour Party. But that does not rule out, consultations and plans for coalition. I am one of those who believe that he should join the coalition, but the terms must be well defined. I don't know, there's something, a part of the question I think I may have forgotten.
Yes. Now, you in 2019, did you support PDP? To
Yes.
be under PDP
Okay.
when he? Uh,
Okay. I remember now your question.
all right.
You wanted me to draw parallel to compare and contrast
Exactly.
2015 and 2027
Yeah.
coalition. Yes,
Yes.
let me be honest with you. In 2015, I was actually for PDP. I never believed in that coalition that brought APC. I never believed in that coalition at all. I was against it for obvious reasons. I have my reasons, I won't say it here, but the one who was championing, they were pushing to be the president. To be honest with you, I never believed in him. I knew his record. And when I see someone who is a tribal person, who will do everything for his tribe, no matter what you say, who is ready to do anything. So in 2015, I didn't like the alliance. It was like a gathering of people who were so eager, who were desperate. That's one major contrast. They were so desperate to collect power because they feel they have been disenfranchised in different places and in different regions. For instance, some people from the West felt they are not part of this government. Some people from the North felt they are not part of it. Some people felt it's their turn, they must take it by all means. And they were ready to do anything. You can imagine when people politicize death and killing of people, the issue of Boko Haram, the issue of terrorists, ISIS, and so on and so forth. I won't go there because I don't want to be quoted out of context. But the fact is that people, if they were not desperate, how would they politicize things like eliminating Boko Haram? Why would they politicize it? When they want to bomb, to go and clear Boko Haram and terrorists, what would they say? They say, no, any attack to these people is attack on us. You can't do that, you can't do that. You are committing this, you're committing that. And the same people are saying that there's terrorism in Nigeria. So imagine when people politicize virtually everything because they were desperate. That was 2015. So Nigeria should not see it the same as in 2027. You have greater voices of reasonable, responsible, sound people. Yes, there are people who may be in the past who came to join this one, but they are not the one leading and champion. That's why I say it is not these people you're seeing now that are championing the coalition. Nigeria should get it right. It is not Atiku, neither is it Rufai. If you want to know the truth, Rufai went to SDP. It is not Rufai and Atiku that are championing the coalition. The coalition and the plan and the alliance started long before they came into it. It was rather the group of young people who knew that they have been robbed of the presidency. These are people that came together to say, what is the problem? What can we do? We need a party. We need this. We need electoral reform. We need all this. And they sat down. And when they finished putting it together, they decided to think of party. Some people say, no, let us think of a party we can join and form an alliance with. And that was how ADC came. So issue of alliance has nothing to do, is the people you're seeing today. It's only because they are popular and they are big names that are already known. So when they came in, it now seems as if they are the one championing it. It didn't start today, it started more than a year ago. Thank you. So the people now are interested in number two comparison or contrast. The people now forming this coalition are interested, their interest is how to deliver Nigerians from the suffering. We are in a pit. Nigeria is a comatose state. We are in a pit. People are interested in how do we deliver Nigerians from this. We are dying, we are being killed, we are being raped. In fact, let me tell you the truth, that coalition spread Boko Haram throughout Nigeria. From the first day, that coalition produced the president. Boko Haram was spread out. Do you know how they spread it out? If I want to tell you now, I'll tell you. Same day was the day the president removed all the military roadblocks in Nigeria, throughout Nigeria. Can you remember? In his announcement on that day, the next thing he did was, oh, we are moving military high command to Sambisa Forest. Do you need to tell us if you want to go and kill them? You announced it over weeks. And then you removed roadblocks. And they were moving down south. Then the next thing you did, you carried the Boko Haram prisoners and transferred to a non-maximum security prison in a of the Anambra State, telling us that was how Boko Haram found food free. We started seeing hundreds of people in a truck, in a car, going down south. Nigerians are pretending now that they didn't know how Boko Haram and terrorism and banditry spread all over the country. And they are trying to blame one thing or the other. This one blame IPOB, this one blame anything. Well, it's a lie. We know the truth. These were the first things that happened within the first week of that government. And today, we are seeing the effect of spreading terrorism all over Nigeria. This is what that alliance produced. But this alliance wants to deliver Nigerians, wants to save Nigerians from suffering, wants to take power from this clueless, this government that looks as if they don't know where they're going. And Nigerians are being subdued and subjected into. So Nigerians should support the coalition when they come out fully to decide that their president is going to be from the south, and that the best person will be chosen from the south, which already, I'm sure if you ask Nigerians today, who is the best person from the south, they'll tell you it's Peter Obi. So I believe that Nigerians will get it right if this coalition works, and if the members of this coalition, talking about Atiku, Rufai, Amechi, Imoke, and so on and so on, all of them believing that they will be honest enough, have an agreement, and stand on that agreement and not try to deceive. Because me, I'm waiting. Once PO say no, I can't join this agreement, this coalition, I will believe him 100% because he has known and has seen what I cannot see. I believe it because I know. Thank you.
All right. I'm impressed. I'm impressed about the passion and enthusiasm with which you enunciate the things pertaining to Nigeria. But you said if PO says no, I'm not joining this coalition, you are going to agree with him. And what if he says yes? What if he agrees to be vice president to Atiku? Would you agree with him? Would you support him?
Thank you. I think I have indirectly answered that. That will be, let me use this word so that PO will also know. PO will not dare. He will not dare to pick a vice presidential ticket or to deputize anybody. He will not dare it. Why do I say he will not dare it? The day he does it, he destroys his political career. I can tell you that. I am
Okay.
at the center of the obedient movement. I am at part of the leadership of the obedient movement. I am
All right.
part of the leadership of Coalition for Preservation of Democracy. And we have one mind. PO is our man. And if he says that he's going to be deputy to anybody, which I know he will not, he has clarified that. If he says that, that's the death of his political career.
All right.
Nobody will be there with him. So
Okay.
in fact, it will be suicide. It's a political suicide. It
All
is
right.
blinding the only, it is setting off the only light and
All right.
switching off the only hope that Nigerians has.
Okay.
Thank you.
Dr. Ben, in 2019, P2B was vice president to Atiku. Did you support him in 2019? Why did you support him, or why not? And then why are you not? Why are you rejecting that bid now?
You remember that I am the convener of uh, Professionals for Good Governance and Social Justice.
Correct.
One of the principles of life that I have is justice. If it is the turn of the North to produce a president, are you hearing me? I'll support a Northern candidate. If it is the turn of the South, there is nothing you can do in this life and I will support a Northern candidate. What kind of deception is that? Why would you tell me that a Northerner has been there for 8 years and finished and handed over just 4 years the Southerner has done? You want to take it back to North? It's because there's nobody in the South that can, when we have the best candidate from the South. So the truth is this. I supported when it was the turn of the North. That is one. And two, when you have two people, you go for, let's say the two people, let me just put it this way. Let's say the two people are evil. You go for the lesser evil. If they are good, you go for the best or better, the better one. So that time, think of the two people that we are contesting. You get it. And then I had to go for the lesser evil or the better candidate. I had to go for the better candidate because I
All
don't
right.
think he's really evil. Thank you. God bless you.
Okay, all right. We are coming to an end. Now, what is your take on the current wave of mass defection to the APC? How can the opposition withstand it in the coming election?
Yeah, thank you and God bless you so much, my brother. See, I tell you the honest truth. There is something we call, let me sound a bit medical, lateralizing sign. When something happens to somebody on this head and it crosses over on this side of the head and this side of, the person has what we call hemiplegia. So that person cannot use the hand, cannot use one leg. It happens in stroke. You know what I am talking about.
Yeah.
All these people are gathering on one side. I want Nigerians to gather on the other side. These people that are migrating alone. Check what happened in Delta State. They are migrating alone. Nobody is supporting them. The power is with the people. That's why we're asking for a free and fair election or electoral reform that will produce a fair, credible election. If that happens, if they let all the politicians in Nigeria migrate to APC, they will fail because the mantra will be the people versus the bourgeois, the people versus the cabal, the people versus the Nigerian people versus their oppressors. It should be, because if you see the people that are going there, selfish interest, fear of being arrested or intimidated, because they want to be share part of the cake that their guy is sharing, or they don't want to be prosecuted, and they have no choice. So they're just going there alone because there are people who know that they are not going there for their own good. So that's why they are going alone. Let me be honest with you. Tell me one of those who have defected, with their whole entourage or all the political, structure. Nobody. They are going alone, like outcasts. So let's not see those defections as a threat. There is nothing that defection do. It's only people that think that this election will not count, people's vote will not count. They will just buy and do what we did in River State. They want to do it again in 2027. We'll tell them that it's not possible. They won't do it because we kept quiet in 2027 because people said we will go to court. Some of us were saying no. These people are in control of the court and everything, but he said, I am a law-abiding person. And we decided to respect him. If he says it in 2027, nobody will listen to him. That's the simple truth. So he won't even say it. He would rather keep quiet. And Nigerians will not listen to him, even if he says it. So he will just keep quiet. But Nigerians will defend their votes. Nigerians will defend their votes. Death, they say, is not 2 times. You don't die 2 times. So that time we have gone to judiciary and we are disappointed they failed us. INEC failed us. Judiciary failed us. Politicians themselves failed us. And what happened in Delta? How they tried. Look at Lagos. A lot of things were wrong in the conduct of the election. People were suppressing voters and threatening voters, even to the point of using masquerade and using pro-festival. A lot of things happened. INEC closed their eyes. No sanctions, nothing. The security agency failed us. So Nigerians must fight for their future. They must stand on their own and push the oppressors to APC. Let them gather there. Rest of the same feather flock together. They are the same. Let them gather and stay there. But let Nigerians stay on this other side. Let's wait for the coalition. If the coalitions become successful and we are there, good. If not, we will go with PO wherever he is, and we will stay there with him, and we will win the election from there. The truth is that he can win the election with 70% margin. I am not guessing. I'm certain it can happen because the Nigerians and their hearts are with him. Thank
All
you.
right. Thank you very much. Dr. Ben Chukwu, a respected political analyst, an activist, an apostle of good governance, a medical practitioner, and I can also call him a special apostle of Mr. P2B. It is nice to have spoken with you. Thank you very much. We appreciate your contribution. I love the fiery your fiery character. That is the passion you have. You are so passionate about the progress of Nigeria. So I believe that, and I hope that next time you're going to speak to Nigerians on governance issues, governance matters. So thank you very much, Dr. Ben Chukwu.
Thank you, Ultrasen. I love that name because you are sane. Thank you. God bless you. Nigerians, thank you so much for listening. And I believe that you will make use of the few things you have said and begin to defend your vote from now, begin to demand for electoral reform. And I want, just as I said, I want millions of Nigerians to join what Peter is doing and what many of us are doing. We want electoral reform. Let millions of Nigerians join. That is what will make me happy wherever I am. I don't know. When you step out of Nigeria and go to other countries and see how things work, you will cry. I mean, a place where hospital healthcare is free. People are giving money to build their house. People are giving money to buy their car, and they can pay over 20 years. Sometimes it's cancelled completely by their king. And they're enjoying themselves. When you're in the hospital, you're giving gifts. They feed you free. Your education is free. Everything is free. And all they have is oil. Just like Nigeria has abundance of it. All they have is oil. And we are missing everything. So Nigerians, if you see what you're missing and see what you're suffering, you give up everything to go and fight for electoral reform and ensure that we get it. If there is no electoral reform, this election, well, you get as a bill.
Let's hope the electoral reform is not as practicable as the coalition.
Yes, it's true, but it is. If Nigeria, just as I said, if Nigerians want it to happen, see, if millions of Nigerians troop out and say, National Assembly, you must reform, these are the things you must put, they will do it. And if they don't do it, they can't go back to their house. There'll be no road. See, why they do all this is because Nigerians will hide inside their house and be talking on social media. By the time Nigerians come out, I bet you those people will be scared of their life that they will do it.
Thank you very much. I thank everyone who has joined this program. Thank you very much. See you next time.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Have a nice day.